Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
Just yet, still committing to a potential dive though.
Yeah, Dudu of course needs to stack his Q, doesn't have any stacks right now.
Oh man, this could be really problematic. Let's see how he does manage to do this, as Doran actually tanking the turret, has to flash to get out of the way, and Dudu has survived for now. But now it's going to be Ona starting this one off. Can he actually tank this effectively, as the answer is no.
Okay, well it ended up working out. Flashless or no, the exhaust gets a ton of value.
Level 6 is done here as well for Pyongyang. Does have that for a little while. Faker needs one on.
Going for it.
There's the shockwave, just throws it down where he can. Head up hold. In from life as Pyoshik's coming on over. They get the flash out from Ona. Didn't have to use it on that top side of the map. In fact, probably could have perhaps saved his life, as there's a flash out from Pyoshik as well. He's level 5. Another Pulverize comes in as Gumayusi in trouble once again. Explosive charges on in the rocket jump from Berserker, and Gumayusi in so much trouble. There's the battle dance as we've got the flash through from Pyongyang, and Pyoshik takes down Guma. Headbutt to push Carrier back as well. It is going completely ballistic here, and it's DNF that are getting all of the value. Looks like Pyoshik gonna let his former team just get himself over the wall pretty comfortably. I think he did actually have his flash available, but just didn't want to take unnecessary damage. As life is everywhere on this map right now. The needlework coming on in is now Doran. He throws down the equalizer, but it equals nothing, ladies and gentlemen. He's on the floor, and Dudu is now and wanders around. You know, he's trampling the ground a little bit and all that sort of stuff. It's great to see. But that was once again a little bit of an iffy situation. Pyoshik going to be able to take down the Drake though, and it's all fine.
This comp is very strong in mid-game T1s, especially with the control they have over set objective here on the blue buff.
All right, life is just getting on in there as Pyongyang going to get flashed on by Faker. The shockwave does connect, and now they do manage to at least go 1-for-1. Or do they? Pyoshik trying to get himself out of there, but that is somehow Carrier surviving. I have no idea how he lived there. The rest of DNF making their way in though, as life once again starting this fight. Over the wall is Carrier, finds the knock up there onto Dudu, who now puts down the mist. He's trying to stay alive, but it's not quite working. The needlework! Oh my god, he manages to get one as Ona goes down and Faker is on the floor, and now the rest of T1 are on the wrong side of the fight. Untargetable as Pyoshik is able to take down Carrier, and now Guma with no friends left has nowhere to go.
And they save the turret.
Doran's getting the turret. I don't know whether they're going to be able to save it, as he takes a lot of damage from the turret and Pyongyang, as now he's going to try and cook him, and there he goes.
Oh, Pyongyang, no flash in this exchange, can't get away. Thought he had the damage. The top lane here, and Doran already has a ton of heat built up. Takes a lot of damage here from the turret, but once the turret is down here, he's like, all right, I win this auto fight. Sure, your autos are ramping, but mine ramp as well. And I think if Pyongyang didn't cancel...
So despite there being that big scuffle, the kerfuffle, DNF being able to win out there, Doran was able to equalize it, grab himself a turret, and first turret blood actually went over to T1 as well. Objectives, so it's about setting up for exactly that. And speaking of setup, that's what they're doing here to Dudu, as over the wall goes Ona, and they look to just take down the turret immediately. The knockup does connect, and now Dudu's going to try and get in there. I don't know about that one, as Doran's already flashed away. Huge pulverize as the Gwen does go down, but the equalizer positioned pretty well. Buster shot gets Carrier out of there with his life, and the Featherstorm will eviscerate the Tristana. This is the kind of team fighting we wanted to see. Advantage to be able to take down this Dragon. DNF not really up with the timing on that one, and with the state, we've got Ona on Zinzao, Faker on Azir, and Carrier on Rakan. Like, this is T1's bread and butter, with their best performing players at the moment on exactly what they want to be playing. We're starting to see the DNF not really able to do much about it, as life is just going to get cooked, ladies and gentlemen. He could even just be dead right now, as Carrier goes in and Faker's able to pick that one up, but they also get Berserker as well. Just sweeps them up underneath the turret. Pyongyang gets in. It's another unfortunate teleport for this Orianna, as they just have to watch as their turret gets vaporized. And T1, I don't think they're going to give back any control.
But, I mean, that was, again, the lack of coordination here for DNF. They're going to go for one more Hail Mary. Okay, They decide not to because their jungler is nowhere near, and I think this is wise.
But I mean, you can't just give everything, because then you just lose the game. Equalizer goes down, and it's T1 that are engaging. The shockwave lands on absolutely nothing, and Dudu is now in trouble. The Gwen not feeling as powerful as she once was, and will be taken out there by Ona. And it's fight after fight after...
overwhelming, it seems like, for DNF. They just cannot deal with it. They're not able to even play the Vision juggle game. They're not able to play the red buff juggle game without catastrophic results. And Faker can solo the Chemtech Dragon, which he will do here with no consequences. And I mean, T1 have the whole map. They have Baron, and once was a small gold deficit, like you said. Feels
bit of a zoning equalizer just to soften them up and convince them that this inner turret is not worth fighting for. And understandably, DNF will agree with them. Does mean that now there isn't a equalizer for the next little bit of sieging. But we'll see whether T1 just try and force anyway, because Owner is so incredibly scary. Does find the wind becomes lightning onto Pungyan.
Pungyan has his ult, but he's level 14. The Faker is level 17, so I don't think they're that concerned about it.
No. And it hasn't really been hitting the right targets recently anyway, as inhibitor number 1 to go down, the second one short to follow. And DNF, I mean, they didn't look like they had much of an idea in the first few fights. I don't know whether much has changed now, as Pioshik deciding to dive forward, does get the stopwatch out of Doran here. Does break his arm guard, but he's very close.
You don't have a Fury ult.
Yeah, and Faker and Carrier are just looking for their opportunity to scoop someone up. Carrier to get them in position, and then Faker just to finish it off as the equalizer goes down. Life goes in. There's a shockwave connecting onto 2, but I think it's too little, and it's almost definitely too late as Ona going forward, tanking up 2 turrets as Life does get the pulverize onto Guma, who will eventually go down. That was actually an absolutely sick play. They trade 1 for 1. DNF base for his team. Dudu also with Azonia's now completed. That is kind of cool. As Faker goes in, finds Pungyan one more time, and I just don't think he has any way out. In fact, he does not, as Faker goes golden, and the red carpet is there. Life unable to walk down that one. That's a little too hot. Gets cooked anyway by Doran here, as now Ona goes in with a nice knock up onto Dudu. He has the miss down, but I still just don't think he's going to be immune. And there it goes. Pioshik on the fountain. The Sand Soldiers say you are dead, and T1 will dominate in the end of game number 1. The DN Freaks woes continue here in the LCK.
And a big statement win here from T1. Viego doesn't always quite reach with the hop available, so I feel like you feel pretty safe in the top 2v2 as well with the Pantheon there.
Yep. Dudu probably should know that there's a likely jungler towards his bottom side, as he's going to have to leap strike his way over, and alright, that'll do it. He's just fine.
Nice timing on that.
Yep, I guess he just knew that he wasn't in any danger as the Ignite already down onto Gumayushi. He's going to flash. This dive is dangerous, but still able to pick it up. Life just deciding that he's going to have to sacrifice himself as Carrier gets another kill. And Berserker not going to be able to challenge him for that one. So that is having a lot of success on. And you also just generally get outranged as the Rise.
Yeah.
And in this matchup anyway, so it's just a bit of a rough one.
Not respecting, but Pioshik is going to come over here.
Yeah, there's the flash in, as I don't know about the angle on the stun. The gravity field's fantastic there as well. And Faker going to have to flash because there is a shattering strike coming on over, and Pioshik gets his second of the game.
All right, maybe it was good that Viego got the kill.
Nicely, Life, of course, his position fantastic there, but T1's still going to be able to get themselves the first dragon of the game. And next one going to be a Chemtech.
They have full control over this pit. Faker doesn't have his flash. I don't think he's going to come down. They're going to look for a bottom play here instead onto Dudu.
Yeah, the Gnar stun into the turret, and Dudu does manage to at least get the counter-strike back as he throws down the ulti. Doran will need to pick up turret aggro, but I think that was a level up for Dudu. Look at him, eating through these cookies, feeling a whole lot better, but still, he's going to get taken down. Nice little hop to get Doran out of there, and it was a good attempt.
Yeah, it was nicely played there from Dudu. Really nice flash timing. Bought a lot of time, but now they need to make something happen here top side. If he's left alone in the side lane, just ask BDD. Deadly Flourish coming on down here as Gumayushi with a lot of damage onto Berserker, and now the curtains have been called. Let's see how the do-si-do goes here for Berserker as Solar Flare goes wide. That's a lot of ultis going in directions that they didn't really want to go, but still, that is a lot of pressure onto the DN Freaks 80 carry. Doran still realizing that things are a little bit difficult here in the 1v1 as there's the Magnetstorm. He tries to get himself out. Heartbreaker comes forward. There is the Grand Skyfall, and Dudu goes down once again. Doran is still alive, and Pioshik's on the wrong side of the map. A disastrous dive attempt here as Gumayushi down towards the bottom side, and the Wallop will take down the Rel. And things are going wrong a little earlier this time around for the DN Freaks. Yeah, this time, similarly to the top dive, they looked for the turret is their worst enemy, and Doran just is totally fine up there. And unlike the last time, they don't end up finding any success with their play, as Pyongyang is now also 100% dead.
Yeah, the Realm Warp, an immediate Chaos Storm interruption, as Pyongyang realizes that he may as well try and clear the wave. And he does do that. He is surviving for quite some time, but that's another gravity field, actually, in the same little skirmish.
Yeah.
Kind of cute. Dudu down towards his bottom side will be out from Doran, and he just wants to finish this one off, but there is no wave, so he takes a turret shot for fun, and Carrier, he's going to turn up. Solar Flare doesn't connect. The Rel is in the area, but Dudu is still going down incredibly low. Good Shattering Strike there just to get him out, but now Pyongyang having to deal with some attention on the top side as the stun comes through, and Pyosik not going to be here in time. Just elects to get himself stunned as they take down the Rise yet again.
And that's feats of strength with the turret going down. It's such a frustrating game to play out here, as it looks like DNF will at least get this Dragon back, trade it for a 1-for-1. We'll see what the Soul is, as it's not going to be Chemtech 2 games in a row, so at least that's a thumbs up for me, but...
Yep, it's going to be a Mountain Soul.
Okay.
But Faker's going to be taking down this outer turret. I mean, this is 6 grubs for DNF. And they're losing structures all over the map. This fight, it's going to be an honest 5v5 as Faker makes his way down. Boomerang value actually quite high there as the Flak Magnustorm comes in from live. They're going to see whether they can get the first kill in this fight. It's so important. The transformation is fantastic, but the first kill, it was T1's, and they line it up with a couple more as well. Now the curtains are being called. The Grand Starfall comes down, and Berserker, I don't think he's winning this battle against Owner, as Owner may actually get taken out here as Pyongyang's over the wall, but instead he just flashes his way out of there. And T1, they only sacrifice Doran and they take everything.
Yeah, Doran also played the fight out incredibly well. You mentioned the transformation and tanked so much in the early part of the fight. No resets for Pyosik, no angle to pop off on this Viego. And that's a Herald getting a charge here in mid, and they're looking for even more.
Yeah, Life. Underneath this turret, they do manage to get the secondary charge from Shelly before she does go down, as Pyongyang desperately trying to deal with the wave. He does manage to do that as Faker takes very split. They really are. They just need to find something, some form of fight, even if they don't manage to deny this. As the Shattering Strike comes down, Doran's their target, but they throw Pyosik just towards the rest of the team. And Ona just left there to deal with this Otacon. Very happily does so because he's under no threat. As
and then they take the Otacon and walk away. It was just, you know, it was not that interesting in terms of the actual fight breaking out and kills going over, but
the map. And nothing that Pyosik could do, no angle to be found there, and in fact, he's able to stop these backs with that Crush Gnar combo. Now the Starfall comes in. Pyosik not going to be able to save this Rise, who had his flash removed earlier on. So that is just a very, very dead bald blue guy.
You see the, preemptive angles there. Doran stops the backs, so it looks like, oh, a bit of a whiff there from Doran. No, not true. He stops the backs, and then they have the Starfall follow-up. They isolate the Rise and take him out. As Duda will pick up some bounty gold here in the first turret of the game for them, but it's in trade for an inner. And T1, I don't think, are feeling too bad about it. With 6 grubs, though, Dudu, if he gets enough time, might be able to take out a second one here. Yeah, if Faker's going to go respond.
If we disable the minimap of T1, then maybe, if Dudu is ignored for long enough, he can get a wave towards the Nexus.
Faker just comes over and says, well, that's the only turret you're going to take. And, okay.
Oh, Owner has found Life, but there is, Life's kind of into that, as Berserker just going to throw a bunch of autos into, okay, does he just win this? Oh god, Owner is so scary. There is 990 gold going over to Pyosik once again, as the Deadly Flourish comes down. Carrier could be dead. The resets are starting to come in, but perhaps the curtains have now been called. Dudu going to soak one of them, Pyosik soaks another as he heartbreaks his way out. So that's all they're going to get.
Ult, so he might get interested.
Yeah. Flash is back up here for Pyongyang as Doran taking a lot of damage. Zenith Blade doesn't quite connect there as Carrier's the one tanking, but Pyongyang's still dead. Oh dear, the wallets be heavy.
They certainly do, and with a very easy to set up follow-up there with the Leona tanking the turret. It's just as simple as that. And now Doran does have TP if he had to join this Baron fight. I don't think he's that interested, though. I think he just wants to push this bottom wave in and start to then threaten there. As Life and Pyosik do show up, but it might be too late. Faker pulls off 4K on the Baron, and I just don't think there's any in here.
Nope, and Pyosik just backs away. They see the Chaos Storm, as we also defend here as Pyosik as well, looking to try and put out fires where he can. It's a 4,000 gold lead in that top lane. As T1 look to siege this one out with their new Baron that they've put together. The Shattering Strike comes down once again. It's a very aggressive dive from Ona, who may actually get taken out here as Pyosik comes in. They do manage to get the kill on the Pantheon. The resets are starting to come in as Gumayusi could be in trouble. Pyosik is kind of scary, but it's Faker going absolute god mode here in the backline. Life going to be taken out. The Death Ray, my god, combined with the Curtain Call. T1 just say, yes, you do have a Viego, but unfortunately it's not enough.
He's dead now.
Through a team fight.
Yep, and T1 with this wave coming through should be able to slowly end this game. Berserker looking for the outplay.
Oh, does not get it. That's going to be another 300 over to Doran. Pungyan does manage to get that, but it is a very swift execution here by Gumayusi. And T1, 2-0 over the DN Freaks, and unfortunately, 3 games. The entire round robin, and unfortunately, none of them were.
Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
On the other side, Lehen's blocking him completely, and just, there really isn't one. It's like, I hope Calyx makes a mistake. That's the best we can hope for.
Well, Peanut going to get engaged on here. Lehen's going to get engaged on here by Peanut, as the Cocoon is going to be traded. And Lehen's just buying time so that these grubs go over. There was a bit of a scuffle there towards the bottom as I was watching this spider scuttle away. And Gideon, he knows exactly what he wants. He eats the stun there as well, gorgeously. That's first blood, just nabbed by Lehen's. And Zeka now at 200 health. The Noodles are really cooking well today.
Yeah, and I think Hanwha Life really shouldn't have tried to stick around and try to force a play there in the mid lane. And Peanut is also just dead, right?
There's the flash over from Zeka, but the flash in answer from Calyx. Zeus will put down the rise and now looks for even more. Oh my god, this guy's Jace is so scary. But Gideon's still able to flash his way out of there. And Jiu is stopped. Flash off meant that Gideon gets out, but does have to invest a lot, as now it's his turn to come on over and pay a visit to Peanut. He'll pick up a rock, and you can see Peanut not actually going to be able to stand his ground. Wall comes up here towards the top side, as now Lehen's could be in trouble. The threaded volley comes down, but it splits off this spider, and it's going to be Viper taking out his former teammate.
All right, well, that's a successful play there on the top side.
Oh god, Bingen actually trading quite nicely here as the needlework going to be avoided. Gideon's making his way down though. And the Impale will be moved out of the way of, and now Zeus is going to turn it. This time no flash for Gideon, and this guy's Jace is just too good. The Realm Warp does come in, and now they're still in trouble. How is Zeus going to outplay this? That's the question I have on my mind. The answer is, I guess we just shoot him a bunch of times. As down goes the Gwen, he's immortal.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best top laner in the world. Nice play, then outplays it. Buying the space here against the Gwen, waits for the mist, hits the shock blast, transforms, goes in for a bit of a trade here. And then, most importantly of all here, look at this sidestep on the Impale. Goes low. This is a picture as Peanut counter gank, right? He shows up on time. And then, Calyx is here. What are we going to do? How are we going to outplay this? Waits for this Gwen to close the gap. Peanut zoning as they try to clear the wave here. Gets the transformation in. Spaces perfectly. My god, I can't even believe it watching in his first-person view.
No, it's really ridiculous. As King no way that King can walk up anymore. It's kind of like the ship has sailed on being able to honestly top lane in this game.
Yeah, and Zeus, he picked this knowing the Gwen was up. He was happy to do it.
Yep, Chains of Corruption going to connect here as there's a Glacial Prison as well. The Chain CC onto Calyx. He is trying to run his way out, but doesn't have flash, and that's Viper picking it up with a flash of his own. And HLE
really they're just going to try to zone while he does Dragon. He is a Skarner, though. I'm not sure if this is actually going to work out.
Yep, Realm Warp is going to bring Calyx in.
Interesting interaction.
Yeah, just trying to make sure that Zeka gets out of there. He does indeed do so, as the Weaver's Wall is now on cooldown as well. So the first Dragon going to be in the pockets of Nongshim.
And they do not commit to try to contest the Dragon. Is not where she wants to be. Gideon is going to have to come down here and respond. At the same time, Zeka backs away, and Calyx should be able to get a plate here topside with some help from Lehen's, as we're just going to trade soul laners hitting turrets.
Yep, and they knew that they were all going to be waiting there, but the Gwen is still going to die. Gideon gets into position, but not going to be able to find anything. The Impale comes out, he holds 2 in position, and Viper just kills him. So, despite the fact that this was all information that they had, they're not really going to be able to do anything about it, and that is going to be feats of strength going on over to HLE at the same time as they take first turret. As they patrol their way down the river, but not going to be able to find anyone on Nongshim's side. One big thing for Nongshim is the fact that they do have the first dragon. So not without anything, as now Zeka could be out of position, does have his flashback available as the Cocoon catches him, and he has to invest the Summoner spell. Lehens' Elise, man, is really, really good.
Yeah, really nicely played. He has the rocket belt as well, but now guess what? We're doing it again.
Well, Calyx, they're going to have to dive him if they want to grab this kill, and he's able to offer a fair bit of damage back. Gideon in position at the same time.
Yeah, I thought Peanut was actually... That's the best you can hope for right now. Viper on 3 kills.
Oh, Lehens going to find him once again. This time, the Cocoon is not going to connect, and the Chains of Corruption does. So Viper just kills it.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was alluding to. I was like, Viper has 3 kills, so I don't know if you can find anything on him anymore. Lehens said, well, give it a good old college try. Yeah. He's playing down over there, but the same to be said of Zeus, who didn't show up to this top wave until just now. They both have TP for this dragon, as Peanut is going to clear this ward, and...
Yeah, and I think the Elise is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Not even given the option to use Repel, because he's just dead. Not even able to go into Spider Form.
Peanut was on the ward he was clearing. It wasn't a mystery. So he cleared the ward and cleared the Lehens.
Yeah. And that's a happy Penguin, as that's going to be the end of that turret, utilizing the Rift Herald very nicely. And all of a sudden, this game went from being Nongshim had some like cool things that they were able to do to this game is really almost over.
Yeah, I think we know who the great challengers are in this one.
Yes. I'm starting to feel as well like perhaps the early plays from Zeus were a little bit much, as, yeah, Viper just kills it.
Super casual. No comments from him as he destroys Lehens.
Lehens, of course, is just happy to keep going in as he flashes, does get ignited and does go down to the last tick there from Delight. Zeus moving on over as well, as then the Impale does come on down. Do they manage to get it? And yes, it's Gyu getting a really nice combo there. Now in the brush trying to line up these headshots, but I don't think Nongshim are going to have too much more. Zeka not even able to throw Gyu through the rocks because Gyu's already trying to get the heck out of there. And they will lose their top laner, but they sacrifice him for 3. So
yeah.
That's how it kind of goes. But it does show that Orcs is at least paying attention, so we're going to get some good segments on the space between games. So it's good to know. Everything is blue on the bottom of my screen, Wolf. That's the dangerous part. As Realm Warp to try and bring them in, but Gideon is going to find himself out of position. He will have to flash. Glacial Prison connects onto Lehens. Lehens probably happy to tank that one up. As HLE just look to turn any sort of aggression that Nongshim are putting towards them. Now Otacon going to be started here. It's the voracious variety.
It's not an engaged support that Lehens is playing. You know, he's playing a Cocoon support. He can't do anything but Cocoon towards his Otacon, so he can't engage on anybody. There's no target. I mean, Viper's got his Edge of Night. Like, who do you even kill here? How do you even get past Peanut?
Well,
good luck.
I think they're going to try and send someone.
They don't even have Realm Warp.
And Gideon is here. Does have Smite, as now the Weaver's Wall to try and break them apart. Great seismic shove will connect at the same time as they're also able to take down the Otacon. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that, as Lehens going to get slowed down by Peanut. He takes a lot of damage as the Grand Starfall does come in. I think these withdrawals are going to start coming through thick and fast, but there are some kills at the same time as Gyu trying to stand his ground, and it's not quite working. The flash out there as Zeka finds a great angle for the seismic shove. There's some Viper, though. I think Viper has had a phenomenal game so far. This guy's Varus has been so good throughout his entire career, but we're really seeing him be allowed to carry here for this team. 5-0-5 right now on this champion as Lehens going to go up into the sky, try to avoid some things, but then gets hit by everything and the kitchen sink. As Zeus, he takes the turret shot, some sort of skill shot, but it's not going to take any more damage. Here is a seismic shove, brings Kingen back into melee range with Zeka, and this is the state of the game. Yeah, Talia is happy to go face first into a Gwen.
If they had a wave, like we might actually be talking about this game is in fact ending now. As at least they get something back on the other side. They force the teleport. They will get this bounty.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be a punish here, but you know, I mean that's sure +1 thing that Nongshim got. 2 turrets, 3 grubs, 3 kills. The rest of the map is blue. The rest of your screen is blue. Lehens is going to make it slightly less blue, but then...
Oh dear, he's just going to die. Wow, you blink and you miss it. He's 1-7. Of course, 9 deaths was the Beryl special in the game. That is going to be a heist on the blue buff, as we saw concluded. The second dragon will go over to HLE, though, as now Gideon going to drive on forward. Looks for Zeka, doesn't get the wall stun, though, as Delight also holding onto the engage option, but they do just throw the Skarner back. Zeka is himself actually kind of gigantic right now, 3-0-5. And you can see Gideon unable to really stand against him. Is okay. Grand Starfall going to come on through. Delight going to be alone, though, as the Realm Warp going to be utilized. That brings Calix over. Delight does kill the Skarner, but he trades 1 for 1. And maybe with how far Nongshim are behind, this could be a good outcome.
Yeah, I think they're okay with it. And sometimes you get to see plays like this. Otherwise, I don't trust it's Hanwha Life Esports, because I thought for a second they were about to just close this game out without any happy gaming at all. Wow, and just very clean macro and
closeout.
Yeah, no, they gotta have a little fun. Calix is not having a little fun.
No, this is he's dead.
I really didn't think this was going to be the series that was.
Perhaps Kingin is also dead, as he did have some mist for a few moments, and Viper did go relatively low. There's the flash forward from Lahans. He knows this is all he wants. He just wants to the Baron.
Nah, he's healing it up.
He's going to be okay. He's going to be A-okay. Baron not going to be around for too much longer here, and not going to be contested by Nongshim either, as we have a 9,000 gold lead. It's almost 10.
I mean, this is not the series I thought that was going to look like this. I thought the backs were broken. Or that Hanwha Life and Zeus became Super Saiyan, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, Peanut. One of those is Peanut's going to get a cleanse out of Jiu, and they do manage to separate the Elise. It looked almost like they were apprehensive, like, do we have to kill him again? And the answer was they may as well. Impale going to come on through, but the seismic shove just pulls Viper out of the maw of death. Peanut there to stand in front of him yet again. Protect the president is absolutely right as Zeus dives in on top of Jiu, and Zeka will be able to finish him off. The Jace will be the noble sacrifice this time around, but the Nexus is still going to fall here, and HLE not pulling any punches here in round 2 as the sad B comes in for Kingin just before the Nexus does go down.
There are only 2 series wins separating Han. I'll be honest,
you could say.
I think the Xayah is very safe into Ambessa, into Shijao, Ari. Like, I feel like that pick makes a lot of sense. Pretty stable start down here in the bottom lane, as Gideon and Peanut look like they're going to have an interaction here.
Oh, headbutt pole. Lands onto Viper once more. Jiu not exactly offering too much back here, as now Kingin going to have to move on down. Wind becomes lightning, and we'll see whether the Ambessa can get anything done now, as that is already a kill onto this Xin Zhao. Kingin trying to do it, but he does not manage to, and Calix will finally get in and take down the pesky Nidalee. But once again, it's Zeus in a ridiculous position extremely early in the game, and they even get another kill. Zeka also finds himself ahead. Oh dear.
Well, it was a good try.
Publicly executing anyone.
Gideon just wants to get one and get out. Get one and get out.
Yep.
He's not going to get it.
Oh, actually just flashes on top of Zeka. They're going to see whether they can find it, but he does get out of the way of Lahans. Now Calix moves over once again. Gorgeous ulti. Of course, Zeka lines it up, but Calix has the answer. Wind becomes lightning, does a fair bit of damage, but it's not quite enough to get anything back, and now the re-engage comes through. They're looking for Peanut. Headbutt pulse comes through, and there are still some charges on this Spirit Rush. Calix going in, but it's 1 versus 3. Can he get the true damage? He does, but not quite able to get much more, and Zeus now is 0 mana up against the young gun of Nongshim.
Calix looking really good in this fight, but also Gideon's call plays the Xin Zhao. So difficult to take down, and now he's got 3 charges of Spirit Rush for the ensuing fight. Grub's going down alive. Gideon gets the first.
Yeah, headbutt pulverize onto just Peanut here, as Gideon going to knock up Lahans. Lahans still alive, still thriving here, as we can see. Kingin moving over. The Banana Brush, great angle for a public execution, as now Calix and Zeka fighting. Zeka with the inside track there, as over they go. Kingin actually dancing around this fight quite nicely. Peanut getting taken low, pulverize only onto 1 as the exhaust through onto Zeus. And Zeka getting pulled back with the charm, but they are just being separated and destroyed. Sapling going to slow up the Ambessa as he makes his way back, but Lahans kind of sacrificing himself.
To be of significant size.
Yeah, Jiu with the sidestep there is pretty nice. Gideon going to be able to secure his own blue buff. That's good as well. As another Pulverize going to get a Feather Storm out of Viper, actually, as they look to avoid the Feathers, doing nicely there. So ulti advantage now available for Jiu, as Kingin underneath the turret. Gideon going to have to try and turn this fight onto Peanut before Zeus makes his way over. But the problem is, Zeus can pounce in from a very long way away, and he gets his 4th kill of the game.
Yeah, this is starting to look like it's all over but the crying at this early stage, as Calix is the only good shining light.
Ulted by Zeka, and Zeka just finishes him off. That's a solo kill. And look at Calix's face there as well. He's like, man, what am I...
It's not going well, as we're going to watch Zeka's first-person view on the solo. Q3, his ult is back up. Does enough damage here, flashes out, but guess what? All you got to do is rebind, baby.
Yeah, and
It's pretty hard to beat. Only Genji has done it so far this season.
Zeka giving the happy bee to his former teammate. Actually very, very cute.
Yeah. To see the Nongshim win, Zeus just doesn't care.
Well, he's going to get pulverized. Headbutt back.
Wait, maybe he
come
should care.
through there is June now chasing after him. Can he actually die? That is the question. Primal Surge is not enough, and there he goes. It's not enough to certify, but it's a shutdown. It's a lot of gold, and it's going down without any response on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, basically everyone on Nongshim is trying to force a fight where they have a man advantage, where they have a disadvantage, they lose the turret, and where they have man advantage, they don't get anybody. So kind of losing on both sides here, unfortunately, for Nongshim.
And they lose feats of strength there at the same time, as Zeka almost finds that knock-up. That was very cute. Thankfully, the charm will connect this time, so Calyx not going to be taking too much damage from that one. Now has a Q that can clear the back wave. So is doing okay. Turret number 2 going to fall down though, and I have a feeling this is going to be a theme today.
Yeah, so remember when we talked about, hold on, we don't have time to remember.
There are a lot of people here around there. Flash, Spirit Rush Flash is pretty nice, and in fact, Delight is in trouble. Pulverize is gorgeous from Lehens. Really set up to make sure that he's down, as Spirit Rush is going to get another charge, and another charm comes in, another Pulverize lined up, and Peanut could be in trouble. In fact, oh my god, I don't know how that worked.
TP though, TP maybe Kingen gets him, Kingen, how many dashes you got?
Well, he's Ambessa. He's got a lot. Is going to go for the public execution on Zeka. Wants that extra money, but Zeka able to ult his way out, and Peanut is a lumbering tree, and he is going to be able to walk it off.
Oh, and Zeka has the longest dash.
Yeah,
but he wants it. I don't know if he can have it.
Well, he's still going to be able to kill Peanut here, likely. Okay, never mind. Zeka is still alive. He's still here. Let's get a nice little knock-up as the charm comes through once again.
Hey,
so the answering kill is there.
Yes, okay. Zeus making a whole turret here because he's literally in the side lane. But
let's ignore this.
We did get one. We did get an outer turret and inner Schminner, you know? Who really cares?
And outer turrets are the ones that you really want.
Once Zeri gets 2 items and we're in a 5v5 team fight, we'll see how useful that really is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she'll probably be killing him next. Getting pinged frantically by almost everyone. So you're going to be coming on over as Zeus with 2 items now done.
Yeah.
I would say that is somewhat intimidating.
It's not a hull breaker either, it's just more healing.
Yeah.
Try to kill me this time.
Oh, Sundered Sky and the Trinity.
This turret's not going to really enjoy the autos coming through from Viper either, and that's just going to be a dead turret with Demolish.
Yep, 5 girl, 3,000 gold gap in the top lane.
Yeah, so let's see what happens if she has to team fight, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah!
We'll see how good that looks.
I think if you've got 1 billion gold, you're probably going to be fine. Is Jiu just going to ult, and Gideon finds Zeka on the recovery, and that's a really, really nice kill to be picked up here. I don't know whether they're going to be able to get over and take the Rift Herald. That is going to be secured there by HLE as Public Execution gets Kingen in amongst it. Trying to keep them interested as best they can, but Lehens getting lower and lower. Jiu does not have the ulti now for this battle as Zeka gets into the backline, and Calyx will be able to spot him, even able to avoid the Nature's Grasp. Very nicely done. Now the quickness comes in. Lehens does get charmed up. Delight will trade himself for it as Kingen trying to frontline as best he can.
Very little in this fight because he's a fiddly, you know? So yeah, it's starting to look a little bit more playable every moment that goes by.
And I kind of lost my mind. I thought Zeka found his way back into the fight, but he did not, as we've got another one brewing. Great charm from Calyx once again. Pulverize going to land onto both of the supporting cast of HLE. And Peanut struggling once again, but it's a double knock-up. There's the ulti onto 2, and Zeka just surgically removes the Zeri from the fight. And that takes so much of the steam out of Nongshim. They're going to have to back away. Lehens realizes he'll need to sacrifice himself as Calyx flashes right over the spear. Great charm is going to come through as now they're just desperately trying to keep themselves alive. They will be able to do so. Spear slightly going wide.
Trying so hard. This team's playing with the food, and I'm the food. I'm really looking for the angles. Calyx is having such a good game. You're trying to look for the punish angles, but it's just not good enough. Calyx going in here super deep on the chase. Lehens has the follow-up. The ult comes through from Jiu. It's small moments like this where you're like, man, if Hanwha keep messing around, maybe we win this. But then the angle here from Zeka is just incredible as Jiu goes down to 1 health and live. Man, he's trying anything he can. He is seen, unfortunately, for him, and now is probably just dead. It's top of the morning.
Yeah, top of the morning too. It does deliver Peanut to the team. Charm is going to connect, but now Peanut taking it as an opportunity to engage. Giu going to turn up though. Can he get into the right position? That's the question. Calix moves out of the way of Delight, but the quickness does so much work. Meanwhile, into the backline goes King and finds Peanut at low health as they just desperately want to get on top of Giu. He does skate his way out as the spear is not going to connect. In goes Gideon, and Giu stands his ground. Delight going to get out of there, but the Nidalee not going to be so lucky. Viper also getting some value as the Dragon's going to spawn. HLE lose one. Nongshim do give another kill over to their Zeri.
Yeah, now Zeri has Runins. You know, like Giu is actually starting to become very relevant in these fights, and I do think that Hanwha's lead feels no longer infallible now that she has those two, and we're looking at a Cloud Soul point here, but it's not a Soul, so...
Okay, there's going to be a little crash into this turret. Gideon slowed down, and now he's dead. There's just not really going to be much they can do about that one. Inner turret does fall down. Good Rift Herald value. A bit of a U-turn here from Peanut, as not entirely sure where he wants to go. He is also unsure himself, as he does just cruise into this mid lane to set up this turret for a kill as well, and I'll take that one down.
Nice how they play this out.
Yeah, there's certainly some possibilities here. Zeka gonna unbind. It's over, as we do have a couple of Spirit Rushes, only one more left, as the Charm's going to connect, but that ulti uninterruptible.
Still got an ult out of the Yone, but the problem is every time they get an even trade, somebody loses a turret.
Yeah, and they're going to look for a Constellation Peanut here. Let's see whether they can actually collect that one. Exhaust onto Zeka to avoid that damage, as Delight just going to play defense, and he plays it beautifully. Zeus now comes on over as Peanut eventually goes down. And it's now protect the president. Can they keep Giu alive is the question, as Viper has so many feathers doing so much work. Zeus and Kingen continuing to fight here, as now Viper with the feathers going to pull him back and take down the Xin Zhao. Public execution is not going to work here, as Zeus is tanking two turrets. He just flashes for the takedown and he'll collect it. And Giu, let's see what he can get done here, as Viper does fall down first. The feather recall almost secures
Who's
the
going to
end
defend
of
the
him,
base?
Yeah, this is the problem. You may have sort of kind of done okay in a team fight, but you have not won the war.
Yeah, every single time it's
so
like, oh,
that's where they're really having some issues, is the Baron completely unseen by Nongshim. Gideon gonna try and get in there. If they can steal this away, then maybe there's an angle, maybe there's an option, maybe there's a way. Let's see what they can actually do.
This is risky for Hanwha, honestly.
It is. That's a flash charm to come through as Peanut getting taken down so incredibly low. Delight got it back, but Zeka finds three with a huge ulti. Calix with his Zonyas though, and my god, this Ari is popping off, lands another charm. It's a triple for the young man in the mid lane. And now, maybe that chance for Nongshim's looking real.
Oh, it was all on the map. You know, that's plus 3,000 gold on the power play.
And the gold is within 2,000 now. It is actually going to get evened out as Kingen heads up towards his top side. He's got 3 items almost completed. Serpent's Fang actually coming in as the second option is kind of interesting. Lots of shields to be taken down though, you'd expect. Yeah. Especially if he's 1v1ing against Zeka in a side lane, so it's somewhat understandable. As there's a flash in from Peanut looking for Calix, but there's no follow-up, and Peanut is just dead.
I've seen this attempt before. We saw it earlier in the game, and Calix this time doesn't need to flash to make the play happen.
Yep. I mean, I guess the thinking is that you cannot charm when he's mid Twisted Advance. The problem is...
That's the scary thing. Plus, Calix is playing out of his mind. He has 10 kills on the R, and he's looking for more!
Another charm is going to connect, and that is the nerf to the Yone at work, ladies and gentlemen. Zeka will be removed, and this turret is going to follow suit. Nongshim are going to win this game, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening.
Are just kind of running it down. Like, what is happening? Like, what was that? Why are you out there? Calix getting disrespected, and he's showing you why you should respect this young player.
It's Baron, it's Elder, it's everything.
If you win a fight cleanly, the game is done 100%.
Yep. No matter who you are. As Lahan's looking to try and turn it.
TP is available for King, and he's going to have to use it.
Yep, Zeus has made his way over. Lands the first spear there as Redemption. Going to get Calix's health bar back, and you can see he is not scared to look for these flank angles. Spear not going to connect there either, as Lahan's his health bar very important. Kingen.
He doesn't have a great teleport angle as Lahan's going in.
Yeah, it's only a pulverize onto one, and that's an ult onto 3 from Zeka, but he immediately goes down. They take the cow, and the Zeri has got 2. Public execution comes through at the same time as up goes the Zeri, and down she goes, but they've got more damage. Zeus is not enough. He is just one Nidalee against the world, and over the wall they go, and they take him down. 7.8k damage for the young man Calix. He is very quickly becoming my favorite player in this entire...
And because he's basically full build, on this Ahri, he just does massive damage. He has the Shadow Flame. He's the one who can apply it really easily, but they're not going to be able to contest this Baron. They may look to try to trade for one inhibitor. I don't think they can get two, and even getting one, I mean, they don't have a full wave here.
Yep, and there are pings out. This is HLE's
team, and that's exactly where Nongshim want him.
Yeah, that is going to be in a turret falling down here.
20 seconds on Elder.
It's now a 5,000 gold lead for Nongshim. Not that gold really matters right now, as Lehen's just pressing the headbutt button because he can, as Calyx is a madman. They have Elder Dragon, of course, so it's not exactly that crazy to go for fights, as Peanut sets up the Nature's Grasp. Charm not going to connect this time around, as in goes Zeka, but they do find a great redemption for the extra health, and now Jiu all the way out the back.
Play completely safe, make sure all three waves are at least at the midway point of the map before they do anything.
Well, Gideon actually going to go in, as there is the Flash Pulverize onto Peanut. Extendo Beam coming on forward as Calyx finds yet another gorgeous charm, and they end the jungler. And Zeus, he's on the bottom side of the map. Nongshim, they understand they need to send someone home. They could lose most of their base off the back of this one.
Zeus also backing.
Another beautiful redemption angle here.
King has TP.
Another inhibitor turret to go down.
Hanwha are going to have to make an engage happen here soon. They're going to have to make a tough call. Delight and Zeka, they're at the forefront of this.
Redemption just to clear up the health bars of Lehens and Calyx, but can they get here in time is the question. As Gideon goes forward, he pulls Peanut out as the Twisted Advance comes on in, and it is the Elder secured by HLE. Now Kingen looking to get on top of Viper despite the fact that the Dragon's getting angry. And Calyx, can he be the hero again? I just don't think he can, as Extendo Beam not going to be taking down this tree, and despite everything that Nongshim were able to do, they just lose out on the Elder Drake because of a pesky kitty cat being annoying.
Zeus still just gets them, man. He still gets them. He still annoys them. He still ruins their day. He still outruns them. He outpaces them. He outsmarts them. And Zeka can defend the base as they push to end. 45 seconds till this Zeri comes up, and that is 45 seconds too long.
Yeah, no Baron, so maybe these minions are killable. The Calyx is really going to have to rely on these Nexus turrets, and Zeus is not going to let him. Charm is going to go wide, and the Dragon is just burning him down. And I think Nongshim, they know that this was a decent effort, just not quite enough to take down HLE here today.